as you follow the sound of my voice, as we will have a hike into nature today. We begin at a clearing, at an opening in the forest. We see the ground is covered with green, lush moss. We enter the path barefooted as our feet step on the soft moss, supporting us as we move along. We feel and sense and smell that the seasons are in the process of changing as fall is right around the corner. We can smell it in the air. We can see it in the leaves. We can feel it in the cooler breeze. It is all around us as our senses are alive and awake and aware. We continue to walk on, feeling the warm sunshine coming down upon us through the tops of the trees. We hear the wind blow. We hear the rustling of the leaves. We move forward, and to our right we hear a sound, and we look over to see a doe and her fawn watching you as you quietly and peacefully walk on by. They are not scared, they are not alarmed, they are in harmony and peace with you, and they watch you with a gentle curiosity as you continue to move forward. And walk along, breathing in the air, taking everything in with your eyes, feeling it all with your heart and your soul. And you walk along, and suddenly you come upon a beautiful oak tree sitting there in the forest. You decide this is a good place for you to sit down and take a rest. And so you sit beneath the limbs of this mighty oak tree with your back aligned with the trunk of the tree, sitting there, closing your eyes, taking a moment of rest, as suddenly you are aware in the middle before you of someone's presence. Someone is standing there, and you look from where you are, and you recognize them as a departed loved one. You are so excited to see them, so happy they are there. You rise to your feet and run to them as they stand with their arms wide open, and you come into a loving embrace. You are so overjoyed to see one another. You begin to share in things that have happened since you've seen each other last as you attempt to get caught up with one another, sharing your experiences, sharing how much you've missed this person and how very grateful you are to see them here today. And so I invite you to spend your meditation communing with that soul. And if you like, you may complete with that one and bring another soul in. It is your meditation. And so enjoy your meditation. And so, coming back into the present moment, you bow in namaste to your beloved. You share your gratitude for the time and the experience that you've had to share together today. And you know that at any time you can repeat this process and visit again as often as you would like, or with as many souls as you would like. And so I invite you to enjoy today's service, and namaste.
Hey everyone, Gary Lynn Floyd here. I hope you'll join me this coming Sunday, September 26th at the Amani Center for their Sunday experience. We start at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and if you'll go to theamanicenter.org, you can find out all the information about this coming Sunday and also all the wonderful things that the Amani Center is doing out in the world. I hope you'll join me Sunday. I'm going to be providing the music and message. So it's going to be an interesting, fun morning. I hope you'll join us. See you Sunday, 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. Be there.
Good morning, Amani. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today's a special day. We have the wonderful Gary Lynn Floyd joining us with our music and our message. So, introducing Gary Lynn Floyd.
Good morning, Amani Center. Gary Lynn Floyd here. I'm so happy to be with you this morning. This is a song I'm going to sing a line, you sing a line from wherever you are, and we'll just go through this song and then sing it all together. It's called We Have Come Here. I wrote it with my friends Karen Drucker and Amy Bishop. I'll sing a line, you sing a line. We go, we have come here to love one another. You sing, we have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. You sing, we have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers. You sing, we are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. You sing, we carry this love everywhere that we go. Sing it all again. We have come here to love one another. You sing, we have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. You sing, we have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers. You sing, we are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. You sing, we carry this love everywhere that we go. All together, we carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. Sing it again. We carry this love. 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 We carry this love everywhere that we go. Back to the top. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love everywhere that we go.
Thank you, Gary. That was awesome. So wonderful to have you back at the Amani Center. My name is Marcy Mitchell, and I am a practitioner here at the Amani Center, and it is my great honor to welcome you to our service today. Today is a virtual live stream service only, although we may have some folks in the room today watching with us. So hello to all of you, and hello to everybody who's watching us from home, from your backyards, from your bed, from wherever you're doing your Sunday morning this morning. Thank you for joining us. So we like to start here at the Amani Center by reading our vision statement. So if you would join me wherever you are and read it aloud with me. Should be coming up on your screen right now. We are an inclusive spiritual community dedicated to raising consciousness and transforming lives. And so we take that very seriously here at the Amani Center. We have a lot of ways that we make that happen in the world. One of them is treatment. So we have a circle of light made up of our practitioners and our ministers, and we are trained in the art, the science of affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. And so it is our great honor, our gift to you to pray with you, to know the truth for you. And so that's something we do as a gift. And if you are here in the room and would like treatment after service, I am happy to treat with you. If you are at home and there's something you want to release or something that you are looking to bring into your life, or just something that you're grateful for, anything that you want to focus more love on, more attention on, and bring more of, then reach out to the Amani Circle of Light for treatment. You can go to our Facebook page and book treatment. You can call us at 530-677-2300. Leave a message and somebody will reach out to you. And you can also request treatment on our website or send us an email at admin@theamanicenter.org. Whatever it is, don't take it home. Let us help you to transform it. Okay, so we're going to take a moment and go about our announcements. And so I'm just going to let you know what's going on. Starting with our schedule for September, and our theme for September is Harvesting Our Blessings. And so we're down to the last Sunday in September, which is our virtual Sunday, and we will have Gary Lynn Floyd speaking today. He is wonderful and bringing the music as well, so you will certainly enjoy that. Thank you, Gary. We have started Creative Calling Circles on Tuesday nights here at the Amani Center with the wonderful Allison Tomei. So this is a once-a-week opportunity to get creative. Come in and do some meditation, do some painting, do some other creative work with Allison. It's different every week, and it's amazing every week. So you can just drop in on one Tuesday a month, or you can come every Tuesday. There is a discount for doing more Tuesdays, but please do register for the class so Allison knows how much supplies to buy and what to bring. You can do that on our website at theamanicenter.org in the Discover Center. And we also have a wonderful class coming up. It is Science of Mind in a Nutshell, and this is sort of the introduction to Science of Mind and New Thought teachings. It is led by our wonderful Reverend Pixie DeFore, and it will be on September 27th from 6 to 8. It's a free class, but you do need to register for it. It'll be conducted via Zoom. So again, go to our website, theamanicenter.org, and look in the Discover Center and sign up for this event. And then we have a special event coming up for our teens. We are partnered with Hands and Hooves, which is a wonderful nonprofit in El Dorado County. It takes place out at the Painted Sky Serenity Ranch in Pollock Pines, and there is no cost to the kids. So they are doing an all-day workshop on October 16th from 10 to 4. There are at least 5 openings still available for this. So if you are interested in having your teen participate, they're going to get experience with the animals, with the land, in nature. They do some Native American kinds of ceremonies and work, and it's just a wonderful, fun day that the kids love. There is a form to fill out on our website in our Discover Center. So again, go to the amanicenter.org and sign up for this event as soon as you can, so that we can fill that up and know that it's just going to be an amazing day. And I am so excited to announce this concert in person at the Amani Center with the amazing Daniel Nahmod. So he will be here Saturday, October 23rd at 6 p.m. for an in-person concert. A proportion of those proceeds are going to go to the Caldor Fire Fund that the El Dorado Fund has put together to help the people who have lost their homes or suffered damage during this fire that is actually still burning, although I believe it's getting really close to being out. So this is going to be a lovely event of community, connection, amazing music. Daniel is just a amazing, prolific writer. I know you've heard his music if you've ever been through one of our services or another New Thought service. You will have heard his music. He writes a ton of it, and it's beautiful, and it's really wonderful to see him perform it in person. So those tickets will be $25 at the door, $33 in advance, and we're going to have some family discounts available as well. So please join us for this really special event. And another amazing event that same weekend, the following day on October 24th, we are finally able to do our Amani dedication ceremony for our new space. This is something we had planned before COVID and then have been putting off, like a lot of other things, for a year and a half. But now we are bringing it into fruition. It will be here in the space during service on the 24th. It will be a very special service, and we will also be honoring our new graduates, our new practitioner graduates. Then it's followed with a wonderful potluck that will be at least partially catered, and we'll have cake and celebration. We'll have honored guests here. The Miwok Band of Indians will be here to help dedicate the space and play some music. So please, please be here for this wonderful event. It's going to be so lovely. And then we have the Four Agreements starting back up in October on the 18th, and Reverend Pixie DeFore and Reverend Angie Gann will be leading that. That's an amazing, transformative class. It is the first class in our year one, and based on the amazing book by Don Miguel Ruiz. So definitely sign up for that. Again, you can sign up for it on our website, and that's going to be a great class. And then we managed to get together a day for an Imani float. So our summer has been long and hot here in Northern California, and it continues pretty hot. So even though we are technically in fall as of today, we have one more opportunity to get together and just go out and float. We'll probably go to Negro Bar in Folsom. People are going to bring their kayaks, their paddle boards for service on their cars and their truck beds, whatever it takes. And then we will just leave from here. And we're going to have some extra stuff. I know I have extra paddle boards, an extra kayak or two. So if you don't have something to float in, we'll have some extra things. If you don't want to float, then just come and bring a picnic and hang out on the beach. It's just going to be a lovely day to relax and sort of say farewell to this hot weather, as we know the cooler weather is coming. And then finally, there is a group of us who are going to join the Women's March on October 2nd, right here in Folsom. So a lot closer than going all the way to Sacramento. If anyone would like to carpool or join us, just check in with me. My email's there, joyfulmarcy@gmail.com. Or if you see Reverend Sherry, she'll be there as well. Just check in with us and we'll make a plan to march together. Okay, so now we will take a moment to bless the service. So just wherever you are, take anything that's in your lap out of your lap, sit up nice and straight in your chair. If you're lying down, straighten your spine, stretch out, and allow your eyes to close as you receive a breath in. Breathing in through our nose and releasing it through our open mouths. Let's just do that again as we become fully present in this moment, in this space. Wherever you are, there is only one. And so as we tune in this moment, we tune into our absolute and utter connection to Source, to Spirit, to God, to the universe, whatever name you use. It is lifting you, it is informing you, it is supporting you and guiding you and bringing everything that you need to you just when you need it. So it is only ours to breathe, to turn toward Spirit, and to say yes and thank you. And so I know that this service today is unfolding divinely as we are all tuned in to this oneness, to our connection. Whether we're watching from home or watching the live stream in the space or watching it later from a beach or our car or any place where we feel called to tune in to our higher self, to our oneness with Spirit. I know the music is perfect and uplifting and high vibrational. I know the message is just what each and every one of us needs to hear today. I'm so grateful for this truth, and I am grateful for everyone who shows up at the Imani Center to make this possible, to make it happen. To our sound team, to our live stream team, to our practitioners, our ministers, our musicians, all of our volunteers who set the space, who clean the space, who show up for events. This is the only way this community works, is with everybody bringing their gift, their piece, whatever it is. And I am just so grateful that everybody does. And so I release my word into the law. I know that as I speak it, it is already done, and it is already unfolding easily, divinely, and perfectly. And together we say, and so it is. And so now I'll invite Reverend Belinda, who's doing our practitioner of the day, to read our affirmation.
Hi, I'm Reverend Belinda, and I'll be leading the affirmation today. So we'll be doing it together 3 times. The first time with energy and enthusiasm, putting your whole effort into it. The second time, if we'll drop it into our hearts, take it inward. And then the third time, if you'll join me mentally. And if you're able, please stand so that we can really emote. So let's begin. I am grateful for my unlimited blessings. In our heart, I am grateful for my unlimited blessings. I am grateful for my unlimited blessings. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. And so now we're going to be going into a song by Gary Lynn Floyd, and then I'll take us into meditation.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's error, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender. Let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me. Now and evermore. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender. Let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me. Now and evermore.
So now if you'll join me for meditation. Sitting upright in your chair, feet flat on the floor, and gazing upward to the spiritual eye, with your eyes closed, your eyes open, whatever's most comfortable, but gaze deeply at that point between the eyebrows. And as we gaze deeply there, we begin to notice our breath, the flow of air in as we inhale, and then as we exhale, truly letting go. And without really controlling the breath, just notice the inhale and the natural exhale. Paramahansa Yogananda suggests, on the inhale, feel a quality, a strength, something you wish to manifest. So inhaling energy, health, abundance, inhale it in. And then as you exhale out, letting anything go that is in the way, just let it go. You don't need it anymore. And again, as we inhale, that health, the vitality, energy. And exhale and let go all that does not serve you. And one more time, inhale with vibrant energy. And exhale, letting go forever all that does not belong. And now letting the breath go and returning to normal. Feel as though this quality that you desire is already yours. It's filled you completely. As we take this feeling into our meditation for a few moments. Staying inward for a moment longer. Allowing this vibration of that which you desire to permeate your being. As I do an affirmative prayer, sealing this knowing within, knowing that there's a divine intelligence that knows exactly what to do and how to do it. That permeates and penetrates every single cell in our being with this vibration of our highest desire. We claim it for ourselves as our own right here and right now in this holy instant. It is ours, our soul's desire. And we allow it to blossom in our lives. Open and receptive to receive every blessing that comes along to reinforce this desire. We know that it is ours right here and right now, and for this we're eternally grateful. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for all the blessings of our lives. So we release this and let it go with calm confidence, already knowing it is done, as we have spoken our word. The law is working right here and right now and says yes, as we say together, and so it is. So one more great song from Gary Lynn Floyd.
Love be with you, peace enfold you, Spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, and let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you, ooh, love be with you. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free. Share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, and let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. Spirit lift you. Breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, and let joy renew you till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love with you. I love you. See you next time.
Thank you, Gary. So wonderful to have you here. Your amazing gift. We are really blessed by you. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce that Gary is not only singing for us today, but he is also speaking. So once again, the wonderful Gary Lynn Floyd.
Hello, everybody. Gary Lynn Floyd here. This is an interesting experience because I'm sitting here looking at this little green dot on my computer screen, imagining that I'm seeing your smiling faces either on a Zoom room or in person in the sanctuary. And so, welcome. When Marcy reached out to me to participate with you all today, I normally would have just said, I'll just send you the 4 songs. She gave me an option whether I sent in 4 songs or 4 songs and I could do the talk and do music and message. And I've been wanting to kind of expand and to stretch myself these days and to do things a little differently. So I opted for the second option. So here I am. And I'm just going to dive right in. And I hope that there's something in this time together that I can just share from my heart that will move you or inspire you or encourage you to show up more fully in your life. So I'm just going to dive right in. This talk is called This Thing Called Me, from Baptist to bad boy to Buddhist and beyond. This is what I know. There is one thing happening, one divine mind, one infinite intelligence, one Holy Spirit. Call it whatever you will. There's only one thing, and that thing is me, and that thing is you. And it flows in us, through us, as us. There's only one thing, and I am that one thing. You are that one thing. And one other thing I know more things than just these 2 things, but another thing that I know is the divine qualities of peace and love and abundance and joy are already within me, already within you. And I embrace those things right now. All that is peace, I am. All that love is, I am. All that joy is, I am. Say those things together with me. All that peace is, I am. All that love is, I am. All that joy is, I am. I am so grateful for this awareness of and this truth that shows up in my life. And it's with great joy that I accept 100% responsibility for the experience that I have in this body at this time, how I show up, what I make things mean. I'm responsible for that, and I have learned in my life that if I accept the responsibility for what I'm feeling and what I'm going through and what I'm judging or what I'm not judging. It's much easier for me to move ahead and show up more fully in the world because I'm responsible for the things that I experience. I was on the music team at CSL Dallas, and it was around 2009. Michael Gott was the music director there, and I didn't know Michael from CSL. I knew Michael from the piano bars in Dallas, and I had been playing the piano bars for probably 10 years when I finally I knew Michael through that world, and he would occasionally come up to me and ask me if I would fill in for him at this church that he played. And I'll let you know my experience of church in a minute. But I was not really interested. So I would always just kind of decline his invitation and say, it's just a church and I just don't think I'm ready to go back and play in a church again. But he was persistent, and he continued to ask me. And so finally, it was probably a slow weekend, and I figured, oh wow, it's a little extra money that I could make on a Sunday morning, and I don't have any other gigs at that time. So, okay, I think I'll fill in for him this time. So I said yes, and the church that he was playing at was CSL Dallas. I really didn't know anything about Centers for Spiritual Living or religious science, other than what I had learned as a young Southern Baptist kid, and so that was all kind of cultish and left, just not in our world. So I if I had remembered, I would have probably had a little judgment on it. But I played and filled in for him a couple of times. And then when he left to go to CSL Reno, which is kind of ironic because that's where I'm artist in residence now in Reno at the Center for Spiritual Living. It's kind of a full circle story. But he left to go to Reno, and I began to fill in full time on the piano. And at that point, it was, I would listen a little bit, but it was still pretty much a gig. I loved the music. I loved the vibe. I loved the people. But I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the message. And we would usually go get coffee and bagels in the fellowship hall during the talk when Petra would give her talk. And then we'd come back in at the end of the service to play the music. And so that was my experience with CSL and with playing music for a while. And then I started dating a guy named Danny, who actually is my partner now. But I started dating him and was talking one day about this church that I was playing the music. And he was like, oh, what church is that? He was kind of curious. And I said, well, it's Center for Spiritual Living. And he didn't really recognize that name. And I said, it's some guy named Ernest Holmes. I have a nickname for him, Uncle Ernie, and he's kind of cool and has some really good things to say. And it stopped Danny in his tracks, and he left the room, and he came back in with the book called This Thing Called You. And I opened the book to the first page, and this is what it said. It said, you, like all others, are seeking the joy of living. It kind of caught me the very first sentence. You, like all others, are seeking the joy of living. You wish to be needed, to be loved, to be included in the great drama of life. This urge is in every individual. It is in everything. I was hooked from the very first sentence, and I thought it was so cool that this guy that I was dating randomly came and gave me this book and said, oh man, your music is just right along the lines of this teaching, and you should probably stay in the services and pay attention and kind of like get something out of it. So I listened to him, and I began to stay during the service, and I began to listen to the talks, and began to see that this was something that really resonated with me. There's another quote from This Thing Called You that Ernest Holmes says, not only human beings, but everything in nature is endowed with a creative urge. When moisture is precipitated, the desert receives it with gladness and breaks forth into a song of creation. Making the most of its brief season, it blossoms in joy, storing within its bosom the seed of its future unflowering. Future flowering, not unflowering. Oh my God. I can't stop this because then I have to start all over. So you just have to forgive me for that one. Let me read that again. Making the most of its brief season, it blossoms in joy, storing within its bosom the seed of its future flowering. The seed of its future flowering. I love that. I came here to the planet with the gift of music. I was 4 years old, and my sister Carol, 8 years older than me, and she would practice her piano for hours. And I, as a 4-year-old who could kind of pick up a melody, began to go and follow her up and pick out by ear the melodies of the songs that she was playing. One in particular was Tijuana Taxi, which is kind of crazy that as a 4-year-old I could hear that and figure it out. And if you don't know that song, Google it and look it up. It's an interesting song. It's not Mary Had a Little Lamb. And she would go to my mom and say, Gary's bullying me, as a 4-year-old. But I came here with that gift of being able to hear music and to create it. And that was kind of the seed of my future flowering into the world. It was the beginning of my life as a musician, and it was also the start of my life as a people pleaser. It started so easily and subtly. I'd play my music and, people, let's get Gary, come play a song. So I learned to get other people's approval at a very young age. And that has followed me in my life and something that I still deal with. I was always excelling and succeeding and striving for perfection. I also just had a birthday and I'm a Virgo, so that just kind of adds to that a little bit more too. But in a lot of ways, my self-approval was really dependent on what other people thought of me and whether they applauded for me or whether they liked what I did. And I began to kind of think that people liked me because I played music. Not for me, it's not good or bad, but it had its own set of difficulties and attractions in my growing up. I grew up in First Baptist Church of Conroe, Texas. And this is the Baptist part of my story. My dad was a deacon. My mom sang in the choir. I was the youngest kid of 4. My mom taught me to sing. She had a song for everything. When we would get in the car, she'd buckle up for safety, buckle up. I remember a lot of them. But she had a beautiful voice and she always sang. And so we were always singing from the very, very beginning. We were in church every Sunday, every Wednesday night. My uncle was actually president of the Southern Baptist Convention. It's kind of like the Baptist Pope. So my family was really deep into this theology of Southern Baptist. And so it was really the only thing that I knew at the time. And I have a friend, her name is Jane Westerkamp. She's the minister at CSL in Bonita, California. And recently I heard her give a talk, and she said, all religions are just different paths up the same mountain. So, don't judge the appearance of any one religion too harshly, because we're all just going up the same mountain. And when we get to the top of the mountain, all of our differences will have dissolved. It's only love and oneness and, just this, we are headed in the same direction, even though it seems like we may be so different. And so I realize now that for a while in my life, I wanted to kind of not acknowledge the value that my Southern Baptist upbringing had brought me. But realizing that we're all just going up the same mountain. It's helped me to honor that path that I was brought up in, and the things that musically, and just it was just a great foundation in connecting my soul and my spirit with music, and that's just been evident in my life from then. Ernest Holmes says, "There must be a pattern of yourself in the invisible." Socrates called it his spirit. Jesus, his Father in heaven. And some ancient mystics called it Atman. Why don't you just call it you, your complete self? That's Ernest Holmes. I was brought up in that Southern Baptist world, and it was like the kingdom of heaven is within you. Those are some of the things that I have held on to this day. And those are the things that really drew me as I began to kind of grow up in that world. And then what I have come to know and to acknowledge is that the same Christ consciousness that was in Jesus and that he embodied is in me. I love when unity churches say that Jesus wasn't the great exception, but the great example. He tapped into the power of his spirit, and I wanted to emulate that power that Jesus had. I can remember that as a kid. I really fell in love with Jesus, but it was because of the way the person he was and how he showed up and how he treated people in the world. And I wanted to apply all of those things to my life and to lift my vibration and the vibration of everybody that I met. And that's another thread that kind of continues to this day. I had a pretty charmed childhood. I was sheltered from the world the way that it really is. And when I finally got baptized into the world, it was kind of an interesting awakening for me. And have you ever been like cruising along in your life and everything's going great and smoothly and unfolding just like we think that it should with ease and grace, and then something happens that seems to kind of screw everything up? Anybody? I can't see you, but I know that those of you that have experienced things like that. Well, mine was a really big one for me. I was the golden boy growing up in a Southern Baptist world, and as I got into my teens, I began to feel a little different than most people, and I realized that I was gay. And I knew what that meant in the world that I was in, and it wasn't a good thing. Because I had grown up being a people pleaser, I was devastated by the reaction of the people in my life when I finally came out of the closet after college. I went to a Baptist school. It was kind of easy for me to blend in, and then, it was kind of, I look back at it and it was a good transition for me to go from my really sheltered upbringing into a little less sheltered, but still sheltered, into the bigger world once I graduated from college. But it was a difficult time for me because, like I said, I was such a people pleaser. And so I got a lot of pushback, and I lost a lot of friends, and my family didn't really understand me. And so I went from Baptist to bad boy. It was the first time in my life, and I have had a couple times when this has happened, but it was the first time in my life where I really just kind of lost everything. And I went inward. I shut down. I was usually an extrovert. I kind of became an introvert. And I just really kind of disappeared from the world that I had been brought up in. And my flesh may have been weak, but my spirit was still strong, and I never let go of that belief in me that the kingdom of God was still within me, even though the people that I knew in my life at the time tried to let me know that that maybe wasn't the case. All these quotes, by the way, are Ernest Holmes, and they're from this thing called You. And this quote I love. It says, "Since you are an individual, you can either accept or reject your own spirit." I was put in that position where I really, at that point in my life, I had to either accept me or I had to just reject me. He says, since you're an individual, you can either accept or reject your own spirit. Of course, no one can take it away from you. Somewhere along the line, you will be compelled to accept it. I was suddenly aware of my humanity and my mortality and the impermanence of relationships and of life itself. And Ernest Holmes sums it up this way: one half of you in heaven, the other half on a dense earth. And I certainly felt that at the time. I was deep into the human condition. I lost every opportunity. At that point, I was playing Southern Baptist churches and retreats and conferences, kind of like I do in the New Thought world now, but it was in the Baptist world, and they weren't having it if I was gay. And so I showed up at an open mic at a little piano bar called John L's Cabaret in Dallas, Texas. And I played for the open mic night, and the guy said, do you want to, hey, I've got Tuesday night open. Would you like to play on Tuesday nights? Oh, sure, I will. And then realized that I only knew like Christian songs and hymns, and so I had to quickly learn a whole new catalog of music. And every once in a while, I would substitute the word baby for Jesus, just so that I could transition some of those songs that I already knew. It became, for me, because I just went into my first kind of dark night of the soul, it was sex, drugs, and cabaret. I didn't know or accept the fact that I was actually creating everything that was showing up. I just didn't realize that. I didn't realize that I had a choice of what I allowed in, who I allowed in. You know, I really didn't have any boundaries at the time either. But I do understand now that I was just using the law of attraction. I wasn't aware of that at the time. And so I could have saved myself a lot of heartache if I had known that to begin with. I had nearly lost all hope for a long time. Music is the thing that kind of saved me through that. Being able to play and sing and work things out, work out my salvation through my music at the time really helped me. But I was pretty lost at the time too. But Ernest Holmes also says, one voice says, you are following a mirage, an illusion. Accept things as they are. Be as happy as you can, but don't hope. This is the voice of despair. The other voice is saying, don't be afraid. Your vision is true. Enter the tunnel and walk through. There is nothing solid in it. That which obstructs your passage is vapor. It is dense only with the denseness of doubt. Then he says, there is a lamp already lighted. As you walk through the tunnel, the darkness will disappear because of this light. You will find the other half of yourself, and you will discover the tunnel is your own mind. It's just a vapor. I never gave up on the spirit that I knew that was in me. There's a guy named Paul Ferrini that wrote a book called Reflections of the Christ Mind, which was a bridge for me from my upbringing to a new spirituality that really took literally that the kingdom of heaven was in me, was within me, and still is, and never left. For a season, I was kind of unconscious, and I became invisible, but I didn't lose myself completely. And I got a couple of invitations to play through the years at Unity Church in Dallas, because I still had my spirituality intact, but it was really kind of tattered and trying to figure out where I fit in. And I was there one day, and a gentleman came up to me, and he looked like a Buddhist monk. He had the brown clothes on, and he had his head shaved. And he said, would you happen to be the Gary Floyd that played at my youth camp when I was in junior high? From my Baptist youth camp? I'm like, that probably was me. And he went on to tell me how much my music had meant to him at the time. And suddenly there was another thread for me where it was that one moment of someone who acknowledged that something that I had done earlier in my life had an impact on them and made a lasting impression. And it really changed me it changed the way that I thought, and my self-esteem went up a little, just knowing that he took the time to let me know that something that I had done before made a difference. And I began to practice mindfulness. I found a book called The Miracle of Mindfulness. And Thich Nhat Hanh talks about washing a dish. And he says, when you wash the dish, just wash the dish. You don't have to do anything else. Just put your attention on the dish. And so as much as my mind was all over the place at that time, I started practicing. Okay, maybe if I can just slow down enough to wash this dish and not think about anything else, maybe I'll be okay. Ernest Holmes says, you are already a spiritual being. When the mind understands this and embodies its essence, that which you are in the invisible will become more apparent in the visible. And that's kind of what my journey has been. The more I embodied the presence of being a spiritual being in this world, regardless of what the circumstances or the conditions may have looked like, what I was in the invisible began to become more apparent in the visible. And that's really what we're all about. I realize that I'm at 25 minutes now. I hope this has made some kind of sense. I want to just encourage you that whatever you have been through in your life, if you will realize and remember that the Spirit of God is within you. Everything you need is within you. That consciousness of Christ mind or Buddha nature, Krishna consciousness, it's all within you, and it's all one thing. There's only one thing. One divine mind, one infinite intelligence. And I just want to finish with this one quote from Ernest Holmes again, because I love this book. It's my favorite book. And he's one of my favorite authors and just energies in the world. Here he says this: you are to believe with utmost simplicity and with complete faith that there is a pattern to your being, or a real spirit of you, which is as eternal as God, as indestructible as reality, and as changeless as truth. This pattern is seeking to manifest through you. It's as though nature said, all right, little man, the game is yours. Play it as you see fit. I'm going to serve you, but don't fool yourself. I'm going to reflect right back to you with exactness what you really are. If you don't like what is happening, I am not going to be disturbed. You are the arbiter of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. So I just inspire you to play the game, show up, be the best you that you can be, because this thing called you is that thing which is just the one thing. As it is with me, so it is with you. As it is above, so it is below. As it is within, so it is without. And so it is. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary, so much. Again, we're so grateful to have you here in the space, and I know that we will have you here in the space with your physical form sometime soon, and playing your music and sharing your wonderful gifts with us. Right now it is our joyful time of giving, and so this is our opportunity for everyone to support this center, to support us as we pay our lease payment, our utility payments, for our speakers and our music, all of the things that need to happen in order to bring the Imani Sunday experience to you every Sunday. And so we have come up with a lot of ways that you can donate online. And so just to go over those quickly with you, you can text the word Amani to 44321. You can hit the donate button on our newsletter and our email blasts. You can donate. There's a donate button on our AmaniCenter.org on our website. You can use your bank app and set up a check that comes out every week or every month or whatever you're comfortable. And you can also mail a check to us, write it out like a old-timey person, and put it in the mail to the Amani Center at 2558 Greenwood Lane, Suite D in Cameron Park, California, 95682. So however you decide to give, there's a link being dropped right now as well. So if you hit that link, that will take you to donate. However you decide to give, whether it's your time or your treasure or just your loving prayers and presence in our center, we say thank you. We're so grateful for you, and we truly cannot do it without you. So thank you for that. And now I'm going to ask Reverend Belinda to come back up, and she will do a treatment for our joyful time of giving.
So I invite you to take your gifts, your tithes, your offerings in your hand. Maybe hold them over your heart so you really infuse it with this divine, sweet energy as we do an affirmative prayer. For we know the abundance of this universe surrounds us. It's demonstrated in everywhere we look. The beautiful stars in the night sky, the grains of sand at the beach, the waves to the ocean. Everywhere around us is immense abundance, divine sufficiency, lavishing our lives. And so we claim this abundance as our own today as we give to this wonderful place where we can join together in communion, the Amani Center. For we know as we give, we receive. And so with a heart full of joy, we give to the Amani Center. So this great work can flow outward into the community and help others as we all participate in this divine circulation. I'm so grateful to know that we are all so abundant and that we can give freely and joyously. So blessing these tithes and offerings, that they go forward and do this beautiful work and also fill our lives with divine abundance. We know this to be true as we say together, and so it is. And so now as you give your tithes and your offerings, I'll bless them. And we're so grateful for each giver that's given their gift today to this beautiful Amani Center, knowing that it is pressed down and overflowing and flowing right back to you, filling you full. So we say, thank you, sweet Spirit. And together we say, and so it is. And now, one more song from Gary Lynn Floyd to go with our joyous time of giving.
My good friend Karen Drucker wrote this next song. I think it's the greatest expression of gratitude around. Gratitude before me, singing. Gratitude behind me. Gratitude to the left of me. Gratitude to the right of me. Gratitude above me. Gratitude below me. Gratitude within me. Gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. Sing. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Feel it. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me. Gratitude behind me. Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, yeah. Gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, and we're so grateful, 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 we're so grateful. I love you.
Thank you, Gary. And now, please join us by standing, singing aloud wherever you are. The presence is here. We'll bring the words up on our screen. Do join us.
The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. And I will meet you in grace.
So thank you so much, Amani, for joining us today, for being together with us. I know that each and every one of us is blessed and held up and vibrating higher for having been here, and that we take it with us out into the world to everyone that we meet, and it ripples on and on to bring the vibration of the whole planet up. So thank you for being part of that. We love you. Namaste.